Welcome to the session. So the next speaker is from Alinta Energy, and so it's all about Aviva, the Pi system. So Brandon is going to show the journey of the data and the power of the data. Please join me to welcome our speaker, Brandon.
There are plenty of technical examples and showcases out there in industry presentations and online forums. Instead, today, I'll be taking you on a journey and running through the processes and key factors that have led to Alinta's Pi success story, highlighting the transformational opportunities and value that comes from a strong Pi foundation. And with that, I'd like to take you to the starting line of our journey. This isn't just any car. It's a custom-built machine designed for speed, precision, and peak performance. It represents years of engineering ingenuity and a vision of what could be achieved. But for far too long, it's been hidden away, covered in dust, its true potential untapped. That's what our IT/OT data landscape felt like at Alinta Energy at the beginning of our journey. We knew we had something special, a powerful system with Pi, but it wasn't living up to its potential. Pi already existed in Alinta across the fleet at the start of our journey, and there was interest in OT data from the business users, but there wasn't really any easy way to access our data. It didn't help that IT/OT data literacy was also low to non-existent. What made it more challenging is that we didn't have the Pi asset framework widely implemented across our fleet. And so our users had to rely on the tags that existed on our Pi data archive. And typically that existed in engineering notation in GE or KKS notation. And as you can see over there, probably not the easiest format for a business user without any technical or engineering background to understand what that means. So it took users days or even weeks sometimes to actually find the data. And that was made worse because there were no business or technical owners in the IT/OT space at the time. Our Pi system was also fragmented and siloed across different sites, which also made it even harder for our users to identify where the data they needed lived. Like a sports car requiring tender loving care, the challenge wasn't a lack of potential. It was a lack of attention. Our Pi system, the engine of our operational data, needed a complete overhaul. It wasn't about replacing everything. It was about restoring what we already had, fine-tuning it, and bringing it back to life. We needed to clean the engine, upgrade the components, and ensure everything was working in harmony. And that's what we did. We first started by restoring the foundations, by building business capacity and processes through a dedicated technology team, our team, dedicated for IT/OT solutions and integrations to serve as a technology business partner in that space. And with that team, we uplifted our end-to-end IT/OT support processes and integrated it with our IT service management platform to ensure a consistent service level across the board from OT, IT, and our business users and stakeholders. With a dedicated team and support, we were then able to uplift our Pi system from ground up. We first started by centralizing our architecture from an isolated Pi system architecture to a site and corporate-based architecture. This centralized and streamlined and scalable architecture now allowed us to have richer data insights, enabling more complex data analysis across our portfolio of sites and assets. We also uplifted our hardware, OS and comms at site, oftentimes highly underrated aspect of any uplift program, but was critical for us because it helped us increase our data availability, robustness, and continuity. And that increased our user experience with the data. We further increased our users' trust in the data through mediating our Pi tags, which then increased the data quality so that they could trust it and understand, yep, I've got confidence in using this data. We then introduced asset framework across our sites, and that enabled our users to access the data and the tags in human-friendly names for the first time. That led to increased data accessibility. And we paired that with training on Pi Vision and data link to our end users, which then allowed them to have a tangible method of consuming and understanding the data visually, which led to the start of data-driven business decisions. Now, this restoration required more than just technical expertise. It required a team of dedicated mechanics, engineers, and drivers, our IT and OT professionals, and our business stakeholders and users. We needed to build a team that understood the intricacies of the machine, a team that was passionate about unlocking its full potential. And so we formed a community of practice, a pit crew dedicated to getting our data infrastructure back on track. We first started by building rapport with key IT, OT, and business stakeholders, instrumentations and controls, mechanical and electrical engineers, asset management, site ops are the key stakeholders we engaged from the OT side. Infrastructure, cloud networking from the IT side, power gen management, trading and portfolio management, finance, compliance were key players from the business stakeholder side. Building these relationships were important, and they were key to actually allow us to invite in a community of power users to establish this community of practice. These power users were critical in unlocking the power of Pi in their day-to-day because they partnered with us and our team to establish data governance through three notable roles. The data owners we established were critical for the appropriate access of the data. The data stewards were critical for the appropriate utilization and consumption of data and setting the appropriate data standards around how that's consumed. And the data custodians, the appropriate generation of data and transportation of data to our end users to consume. Now, these power users were also fundamental in our journey of driving and delivering continuous stream of value and innovation in the IT/OT space through our use case delivery pipeline, which allowed us to have a cross-pollination of initiatives and ideas in Alinta. And so we established a team and also a continuous delivery pipeline, a community and a way to systematically work on the car, testing, tuning, and improving its performance. It wasn't a quick fix, I'll be honest. It was a process of continuous improvement, learning from every adjustment, every test drive. We focused on the low-hanging fruit, the easy wins that would get us back on the road quickly, whilst also laying the groundwork for more significant upgrades down the line. We learned from our mistakes, adjusted our approach, and kept pushing forward. Now, in every organization, including ours in Alinta, there'll always be work that falls in one of 4 categories. We've got our quick wins, major projects, fill-ins, and thankless tasks. What I firmly believe was key to our path to success, growth, and trust was a relentless focus on preserving a pipeline of consistent and frequent quick wins, those low-hanging fruits. This was enabled by our continuous innovation and value stream that I mentioned before in the community of practice, that use case delivery pipeline. Through all the projects and use cases, we also continuously reassessed and refined ourselves and our processes. We asked key questions. What went well? What didn't? How can we improve? What does Pi do well? What do other solutions do well? How do they pair and complement Pi? How can we make our next use case better? And so we continuously evolved and reassessed our vision, strategy, and architecture as we delivered use case by use case, iterating and refining the machine. And then the engine roared to life. We started seeing results. Dashboards we created provided rich data insights that drove critical business decisions. We mitigated risks, saved money, and finally, the business started to trust our data again. It was a turning point. we had moved from simply maintaining the car to actively racing it. We started to see value. From the many exceptional use cases we delivered, a few highlights stand out. Pinjarra, one of our baseload cogeneration power stations in WA, historically had limited operational visibility on the efficiency gains that we got from unit washes, which are maintenance events at the compressor to remove fouling. This use case focuses on descriptive analytics powered by PI-set framework and PI analyses, and it allowed us to synthesize and consolidate raw data into PI vision screens. This provided engineering and asset management the insights that are needed on the unit's efficiency after each wash. And equipped with the actual data, the team were empowered to make confident, data-driven decisions to extend the wash cycles from 2 months to 3, and eventually from 3 to 6. That saved us over $1 million per year in reduced maintenance and reduced downtime till this very day. It's been over 3 to 4 years since we did that. Another highlight is at Waydrop, one of our gas-fired power stations in WA, a critical asset in the wholesale market, providing peaker services in high-demand periods. And the reliability of such a power station is critical to ensure a stable and reliable grid as Australia transitions towards a greener grid and future. We collaborated with mechanical engineering to deliver proactive and smart descriptive analytics, taking the lessons learned from previous use cases and iterations. And so we used PI-set framework, PI analyses, PI event frames, and PI notifications. We once again synthesized that data to provide rich insights via PI vision screens and proactive early notifications to our engineers. And this allowed them to minimize risks of unplanned outages caused by bearing failures. This reduced the revenue opportunity losses of up to $2 million from the units being offline, and also reduced over $500,000 of unplanned hardware replacement and repair risks. Now, I could go on for days and wax lyrical about all the other amazing use cases that we delivered. But what I want to highlight here today is we were only able to achieve them all because we have a community of practice on the IT, OT, and the business layer that are closely knit, that are committed to ensure that our solid PI foundations were maintained and continues to be fit for purpose as we delivered use case and enhancements on top of it. And so the impact went beyond just the technology. It changed our culture between our IT, OT, and business teams. Active user adoption skyrocketed, and we are seeing over a 30-fold user increase. Until this day, the most amusing but incredible thing we found is that our biggest power user is actually one of our executives. As data proficiency grew and the relationship between IT, OT, and the business transformed from adversarial to collaborative, from seeing technology as a shared asset for innovation, the crew had become a winning team. Data-driven business decisions firmly became part of our culture. Spot trading, for example, was able to use PI data as an input to their trading decisions. Operations and engineering used PI data now for their visibility of day-to-day ops. Smart asset health notifications, as well as to assist them in a detailed root cause analysis to identify operational issues. And so with our solid foundation in place and our pit crew, our community, rallying around it, we can now shift gears and explore new horizons. We're now exploring integrations of other class-leading technologies such as Aviva CDS and Databricks, opening up a new world of possibilities with seamless data integrations and advanced analytics. We're no longer just racing. We're entering a new era of innovation. As I mentioned, we're currently exploring integration of PI system with Connect to leverage that for seamless data sharing with external parties. This significantly minimizes technical effort and architectural complexity, all whilst addressing the security concerns from an IT/OT perspective in 2025 standards. We're also looking at integrating our PI system with Databricks via the CDS to Databricks integration that we saw before, to enable us to leverage IT/OT data more widely and consistently across our IT and business users who do not require Pi data at a raw resolution. Now, this enables us to more robustly implement end-to-end IT/OT data governance, and it also enables us to explore advanced data analytics capabilities with AI, machine learning tools for data science down the track. Last but not least, we can't forget what got us here in the first place. The consistent and frequent quick wins. And so we're committed to further develop more use cases in the descriptive analytics space, such as in asset health estimates and continuing our rollout of bearing temperature condition monitoring at other sites, vibration analysis, and more. Our foundation, our community, enabled by the work we are doing to push the current envelope further, primes us to explore even more advanced technologies in the future. As a technologist myself, bridge and a catalyst between IT, OT, and the business, I'm excited and see immense possibilities beyond our present horizon. Imagine a future where we are primed to detect hardware failure ahead of the curve based on a remaining useful life estimate to schedule a work order using predictive maintenance with Aviva Predictive Analytics and integrations with EAM. Imagine a future where our spot traders unlock new levels of advanced trading strategies based on advanced IT/OT data science, AI, ML use cases using Databricks. Imagine a future where our asset management team are able to get notified by a predictive analytics model on a possible early hardware failure, and then immediately take action by identifying the location of that hardware via 3D models of the plant without ever stepping foot on that plant, and then getting consolidated data required for analysis, such as real-time sensor data, inspection reports, equipment manuals, maintenance history, etc. All this seamlessly triggered and presented by the asset information management solution to then empower that person to make a data-driven business decision to resolve that issue, such as raise a work order for replacement or a physical inspection on site, etc. The possibilities are truly endless. But the real question isn't what we can do. It's why we're driven to explore these frontiers. Beyond the data, beyond the solutions, it's about the people, the community, and the legacy that we leave. It's about that pit crew, that team that I talked about, the collaborative spirit, the shared belief that we can do more and be more. It's about harnessing technology to amplify human potential, to build a more sustainable, more efficient, more innovative world for the next generation. And that's the future we're unlocking. Thank you.